call it. This should have been the last episode of Loki, and it should have been the last episode of the MCU as we know it before they rebooted.
Okay, whoa. Holy shit on a stick, that's a hot take. That may be the hottest take that you've ever taken hotly. Good Lord.
I was going to drop that bomb. I think I'm going to stick to it.
All right. I mean, presumably that's something that we're going to unpack a little bit as we go here.
Yeah, I think this is a big misstep for the MCU as we know it.
Holy monkeys. Okay, well, that's I mean, I too think that something happens in this episode that has it is a continuation of Marvel shooting themselves in the foot, and I don't know if it's going to be the same thing as what yours is. So I'm curious to get there and see what happens. Hello and welcome to the Movie Men podcast.
We are the B team.
My name is Brady.
And I am Carl.
And we're here reviewing Season 2, Episode 4 of Loki.
Yes,
titled
we are.
Heart of the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, it sounds like going to be maybe our most important episode of Loki ever, if Carl, delivers on this promise that he's thrown out there so violently. All right, so let's just hop into it. Our episode kicks off, and Ravonna Renslayer and Miss Minutes have been convenient allies so far up until this point, I would say. Right? Like, they've kind of been mutually beneficial. Maybe not same interests, but each other's interests, like...
They're
serving
not
each other.
Necessarily aligned, but they are kind of heading... Their interests cross paths, for sure.
Yeah. But after being kicked through a time door to the end of time, Miss Minutes reveals the truth about Ravonna's past to her. Now, this was the thing at the end of the last episode, right? We were talking about, she's like, oh man, I got something that's just going to make your blood boil, sweetie. Right? And we're like, woo, what is that? Like, what is that going to be? Well, we find out. Showing her the events of centuries or even millennia, we don't really know, in the past, where Ravonna sees herself speaking with He Who Remains and learns that although she held a position of power at the TVA before as a judge, she was actually meant to be one of its leaders. She was not just an important figure in the war, but the commander of He Who Remains' armies.
Yeah. Second in command.
In fact, the phrase, for all time always, comes directly from her conversation with He Who Remains.
Yeah.
But after winning the war, He Who Remains went on to wipe the memories of everyone who helped him, including Ravonna, robbing her of the power to rule beside him. Jeez.
This scene is cool because it plays out on a table in front of her. Like it's not on a screen.
This is
like Miss Minutes creates this 3D miniature replica of the room they're in.
Yeah.
With like the roof torn off and like it's like real, like almost like dolls, but real life them.
This is
it's such a cool scene.
This is exactly what Google Lens promised us Minecraft would be like in that video like 10 years ago, and it never freaking happened.
Yeah, like I got it paused in the scene where they're like, the camera's on the outside of the glass, like outside of the room, looking into the glass at the man at the end of time and a version of Miss Minutes at that point in time. And like behind them is a massive Renslayer watching the scene unfold. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super cool. All right. Yeah, this is a big deal. It's a big deal. And it's a cool, it's not just
she's pretty pissed too.
She's pretty pissed. And like He Who Remains was very two-faced in this conversation, right? He's like, like, can't wait to rule beside you. and all this stuff, and it's going to be wonderful. And oh, no, you go on ahead. I'll catch up. And when he says that, you can tell, like, that's when you start to tell, okay, something's up.
Yeah. And then Miss Minutes tries to further align their goals in the last lines of this scene by saying that you don't need him. Neither of us did, and maybe we never did.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so, realizing that he who remains using both, the two partner up to go after the TVA. Meanwhile, at the TVA, Victor arrives and is immediately brought to OB in RNA. The two have their fanboy moment, each surprised to meet the man who has had such an impact on creations.
So weird.
On their creations. There's some technological jargon thrown around about the temporal loom and stuff like that, but basically it needs to be fixed, and Victor just happens to have the device that will help them succeed before the TVA implodes, right? So they brought him because his temporal aura was the temporal aura they needed to open the door, but then Obi's like, well, it's not going to make a difference anyways. Right, like I've just realized it's not going to make a difference even if we get this door open. It's now too far gone. It's too far out of control. And Victor Timely is like, well, I invented something that I think will help, right? And like whips out his little prototype thing, and that's supposedly going to help save the day. Unfortunately, the radiation out near the loom is now much worse than when Mobius went out before. Remember the whole skin melting thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that almost seems like a guarantee at this point. And that would not be good. Like skin is I like having it. Helps me from day to day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I can see why
necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why there's not a line of people ready to go here. And even, Mobius is like, well, I already did my turn. Like, it's not, why is everyone looking at me? I went last time.
Yeah, I did this once already.
Yeah, I'm going to lose all my skin? Wow. I don't want to do that. While Obi and Timely try to figure out a solution, Mobius casually suggests that they go get some pie. Oh, I love this pie thing. I love this pie thing. In the room of only key lime, I love this pie thing, which makes Sylvie explode with anger at his flippancy. Like, she is just like, I'm sorry, like the whole world's going to come to an end and everything's going to get destroyed and we have to figure this out. And your suggestion is to get some pie? Like, she really just like loses it.
Pie fixes everything.
Yeah. She points out that much like X5, that hasn't even looked into his own life, I'm screwing up my words here. Much like X5, that Mobius hasn't even looked into his own life or timeline. Right? Starts throwing some emotional shade at him.
Yeah.
In this, like, you're just afraid, aren't you? Right? Like, you're like, what are you running from? Why are you running? Why are you hiding? He doesn't have a connection to the branch timelines out there and seems to actively be evading it, is kind of, what she suggests. Mobius's past and his origins is something that has had us scratching our heads since the very beginning, with all this emphasis being placed on jet skis and just this life. Like, where did he come from? Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one curious about that.
No, I don't think so. Like, yeah, from season 1 with him like waxing poetically about jet skis. Like, of course, yeah, we all want to know, like, why is he obsessed with jet skis and, like, where is this coming from? And
yeah.
Sylvie
ends up at the automat, which marks the second time that people seem to have inexplicably ended up there, which is one too many times not to make it a little suspicious that room is going to play some sort
room.
of a role in this. Pie will be the answer. So the loom just wants some pie. Just toss some pie into the loom, man. It's sick of eating timelines. There, she and Loki have a discussion about how to handle the TVA. And it's a discussion. It's a discussion where there doesn't seem to be a right or a wrong. On one hand, it does seem like burning it all down and starting over might just be what they need to do. There are so many loose threads, and the system is so corrupted. But on the other hand, preserving what has been set in place could provide longer and more, stable change, as opposed to completely just raising the entire thing. So I don't know. I genuinely don't know where I fall in this debate. And I've said that before, right? Like, even with He Who Remains, I'm like, yeah, he's like total piece of shit, but like, and the methods he used were garbage. But like, he kind of did it for good reasons.
This is Loki's stance, right? Like, without He Who Remains, then the Kangs fight and everyone loses.
So here's a question. Do you think because that's Loki's stance, is that the stance that because it's our main character, our titular character's stance, is that the stance that we're also supposed to take? Is that what Marvel wants?
Are you asking that if that's the stance that the MCU will go, or are you asking what we as the audience are meant to feel like we should be on his side?
Because ultimately, because they could go one of two directions with it, right? Either that could be the answer. Because here's the thing, and here's the wonderful thing about Loki right now. Say what you will. Here's the wonderful thing about Loki right now. I have no idea how this is going to end.
Yeah. No,
I have no idea where this is going.
Yeah.
But not in like a I'm confused and lost way.
It's a good way.
As in like what is I'm on the
not that
edge
you're
of my
not confused
seat.
And a little bit lost, but you're enjoying the ride.
Well, it's time travel, right?
Yeah.
But so they could go one of two ways, right? Loki could be right, and that could win out, and that could be the right thing. Or it could be the wrong thing. I mean, that could trigger and spiral forth all kinds of crap. Or this could be we're all on the side of Loki, but then this is a character growth moment for Loki where we end up not going that route, and that ends up being the right call or the wrong call. Who knows?
Right. I think we're not meant to. I think it's ambiguous on purpose.
Right.
I think we're supposed to be torn between what Sylvie wants, who is a Loki, and what the Loki wants. Right? I think it's purposefully ambiguous to kind of tear us and toy with our emotions and our thoughts, to kind of I do agree with Sylvie.
Yeah.
People should have a choice. I do Loki's not wrong, right? They're purposely flirting with that line of what's right and what's wrong in this show.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, 100%. Then we get one of the best lines that we've gotten in this series to date, right? Because Sylvie's she's completely does not want to lead the TVA in any capacity, right? She points out, she says to Loki, she's like, I don't want to play God. And while Loki's walking away, in a brilliant stroke of writing, Loki says, we are gods. Such a good line. And something that you kind of something that I've been forgetting.
And it's kind of a callback, right? Because that's something that Loki is always proud of and touts, and his big line at the end of Avengers to Hulk, I am a god. Yeah, it's kind of a callback to to that a little bit, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And yeah, something that I have been kind of forget. So like Brianne and I are rewatching through the MCU right now, right? And so the other night we watched Thor: Love and Thunder. And boy, it didn't get much better on a rewatch. Like it's still not good.
Yeah.
It's got some great moments. It's got moments that like I remembered it. I had been remembering it as just all bad, and it's not. But the bad is pretty bad. But even in that, like, you kind of stop like Thor has in many ways, like when Thor and Loki first hit the scene in the MCU, it was constantly on our minds. It was very apparent that they are gods, the god of mischief and the god of thunder. And I think that I think it's nice to have that reminder in this, because with Asgard gone, with Odin gone, with Thor not ruling because Valkyrie is king, which I've still never fully understood. Like, you know, I don't know. This is like a feminist thing or a sexist thing or what it is. Like, why is she not the queen of Asgard? I don't know. I don't know why. It seems like a really outdated, like, no, the only title is a king. So even if you're a female, you have to be like, I don't know what that is, but it is what it is. That's fine. It's you just kind of have, at least I've lost sight of the fact that Thor and Loki are gods, right? They're not just like, they've almost in my mind just been demoted to characters in the MCU. Does that make sense? Like, I just don't often think about their heritage anymore.
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. Especially in this show, because Loki's magic doesn't work in the TVA. So he pretty much is, with the exception of his kind of like physically innate toughness as being Asgardian / technically frost giant, right? Yeah. Like he except for that kind of innate physical abilities, he's pretty much just like everybody else. Like, he's got to rely on his wits and intelligence and yeah,
and we don't see him use his powers very often.
Yeah, well, because he's in the like in season 1, we hardly see it at all because most of the show takes place in the TVA.
Yeah,
we get to see it a bit more in this because they've left the TV out on a number of occasions so far.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It was just a nice reminder. In the TVA, Gamble convinces B-15 to talk to Dox and her men and try to change her opinion. Gamble reveals that it was B-15's impassioned speech that changed her mind on how to deal with the timelines, and that she can inspire Dox in the same way. Speaking to Dox, B-15 does her best to try to appeal to Dox and convince them to fight for them again, especially with Renslayer on the way. But Dox doesn't get to take B-15 up on that offer because when Ravonna arrives, she tries to bring Dox and her men onto her side to fight with her. So there's a lot of infighting going on.
Yeah, there's like a little TVA civil war.
Yeah. Dox correctly recognizes that Ravonna is only after power and refuses to stand with her. So, like, at this point, and that's the thing, like, it's been, and this is reminded to us, I think, at some point in this scene, like when she first arrives or whatever.
How did she arrive in the first place?
I don't know. But
she doesn't have a temp pad.
It's only been like, well, presume maybe Miss Minutes can like.
That's got to be the only logical conclusion, I guess. Yeah.
But the thing that we're reminded of in this scene, which again had not occurred to me, And it makes sense because of how this season starts and the last season ends and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was like 3 days ago. 3 days ago that Ravonna was in her office as the judge. Right? Like, this, it's been years since we've gotten the last season, but it hasn't been a long time. Like, this is all happening. This is like Back to the Future style. This is all kind of happening in the same week.
Yeah.
So everything's very fresh and very,
raw.
Yeah. All of her men stand behind her, except X5, who sides with Ravonna. We know that he wants to return to his life on the timeline.
Got a little taste.
Yeah, now he wants it. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him, right? I mean, you're essentially choosing mortality. Right? You're going to age and then die on your timeline. Versus the TVA where you just kind of live forever, but is that living? Like, that may sound more like imprisonment. I don't know. Right? I mean, Mobius doesn't seem to mind it. Mobius seems to like what he does. But also, again, is that just a fear of doing anything else? I have no idea. It's also clear that he and Dox have a closer relationship than they let on. She calls him Bradley and asks if life on the timeline was really that good. He isn't able to answer her and instead cowers when Ravonna puts all the people into a time cube and crushes them all to death, with Miss Minutes watching with a slightly concerning, joyful smile on her face. This is a
creepy,
dark scene.
Yeah. Like, Miss Minutes is the only one in the room not disturbed by this. Even Ravonna's showing a little bit of like, what are we doing?
But it's like, I don't know. It was heartening to see that, like, all of those people who got crushed it was like, no, we're dying. We're not freaking joining you. Right? Like, we'd rather die than do what we know is evil. Than to give you power and let you burn this all down. The three of them then go after Victor. So that's Ravonna, X5, and Miss Minutes. Go after Victor, who they grab after X5 prunes D90. Then Miss Minutes takes control of the system, stopping the other team's effort to fix the TVA.
We got to jump back here. The breakdowns you use are good, but sometimes they jump little scenes.
They're a little
that are a lot of fun, because like the reason they even get to him easily is because he wants hot cocoa.
Yeah.
Right? Like Mobius walks in
machine
with hot cocoa and he's like, "What is that?" It's a hot cocoa. Came from the hot cocoa. There's a machine that does that. Show me this machine. Like, this is because the time he comes from. This is an impossibility.
Well, and it's also, there's so much genius to this scene because he's so fixated on it, right? Like, Mobius then continues on. He's like, okay, so like, what are we doing about like the temporal loom and like stuff like that? And like, and Victor doesn't give two shits about any of that anymore. He's like,
yeah,
but I'm really curious about this. Like, he keeps going back to the hot cocoa machine. But what's really interesting about this whole scene to me is that, yes, in Victor's time, a hot cocoa machine is an impossibility. 100%. Hands down, pants down, it's not going to happen. But he's also invented things. Yeah. Right, like he is in terms of inventions and knowledge and everything else.
He knows it's possible. He just doesn't know how it's possible.
He doesn't. Yeah, like that's a marvel to him.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
The other key thing in this scene is that we start to realize that temp pads aren't working. That the system is shutting down.
Yes. Yeah.
And they don't realize it yet, but it's because Miss Minutes is back in the TVA and Miss Minutes controls everything.
Yeah. Ah, jeez.
Yeah. And then, he goes with what's his name to get a hot cocoa.
Yeah, it's in this scene that Sylvie becomes trapped in the elevator. And as she pries open the doors, she sees Loki from the past in episode 1, right before Loki from episode 4 prunes him and sends him back to his point in the timeline. This is cool. This is some cool use of like timeline or time travel shenanigans.
Yeah. I'm just going to say I called it.
Oh, yeah, hands down. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said, oh, it's Loki.
I called
yeah.
it.
Yep. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
The ringing phone from episode 1 is revealed to be a call from Obi, who tells Loki that Sylvie is the only way tells Sylvie that the only way to take Miss Minutes offline is to reboot the system, which means they lose the safety system, which means that Loki and Sylvie will get to use their magic.
Yeah.
Finally. With the systems down, Loki and Sylvie act quickly to get Victor back. Sylvie enchants X5 and gets him to prune Ravonna. Whoa! Like, nobody's safe in this series. Did you see that happening?
No.
Like, Ravonna's just gone. She's just taken out. She's gone.
Yeah.
Now,
and essentially,
she's not
Miss
dead.
Minutes is gone for now.
Yeah, she's not dead. Presumably now, Ravonna's in the void.
Yeah.
But I also don't know that Ravonna will be able to fend off the cloud monster.
Yeah, escaping the void is near impossible.
Pretty
as we found
futile.
out last season.
Yeah. Jeez. They grab Victor and run back to the loom as it is on the brink of destruction. Like, the loom is... this kettle's been boiling for a while.
Yeah.
Scanning his temporal aura, the blast doors finally open. And Victor decides to be the one to launch his multiplier MacGuffin into the loom. He puts on a suit that Mobius donned in episode 1 and tells himself, time to be brave. It's a huge heroic moment that instantly comes to an end when he steps out of the doors onto the platform and is turned into spaghetti by the radiation.
Yes, with
their last hope gone, Loki and the team simply have to watch as the loom totally destabilizes and implodes.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to go first or am I going to go first here?
Why don't you go first?
Okay, so
I've got the hot take.
So my thing is this scene drives home one of the issues with the MCU right now. And that is that, like, so we were theorizing a little while back. We're like, does Victor go on to become He Who Remains, right? That was a possibility. We didn't know. Right. We didn't know if this is the same guy. We didn't know whatever. Clearly now it's not.
We don't know. This is episode 4. We don't know that.
Well, he's been wiped from time.
We don't know that is episode 4.
Okay, sure. Okay, well, whatever. But the issue that I think that the MCU has right now is what they've done is they've said, hey, MCU fans, comic book readers and non-comic book readers alike, this is Kang. He is simultaneously the biggest, baddest, most dangerous, scariest person in the MCU right now. Simply because we're ignoring the fact that Armishan was a thing and that there are Celestials, but you know, whatever. Whatever. This is the biggest, scariest, worst, come for your children, hide your children guy out there. Simultaneously, he's also our most expendable character because we've killed him 3 times now.
Yeah.
And so it is just like, here's the thing. Look, the MCU for me is like Assassin's Creed. No matter how bad it gets, no matter how much I get burned by it, I'm still there. Take my money, I'm excited. Show me more. Let's keep going. Because I'm hooked. I'm addicted.
Yeah.
But even and I'm the guy, right? I'm the guy. I was just in our news episode this week, I was trying to convince you, like, just wait and see where they go with Echo. Who knows?
Yeah.
I have faith, right? They're going to turn this ship around. When we've talked about the discombobulation of the MCU post Endgame, I have said repeatedly, just take a breath, guys. Relax. Mm-hmm. Right? It's if you look at where we are now versus where we were when the MCU first started in the first saga of the MCU, we didn't really know a whole lot then either. And we were okay with that. We've just been spoiled and conditioned now that we have to have this big grand master plan that's been revealed to us in its entirety. So just chill. And it'll all make sense. I have been the whatever. I do not feel like our next Avengers film, which is not far out. I do not feel the threat of Kang at all.
Yeah.
I don't. Not in the slightest, especially not on the level of what Thanos was. Not even close.
Absolutely agree. Yeah.
And like I am I looking forward to Avengers Kang Dynasty? Sure, it's going to be an Avengers film. Sure. I am far more looking forward to Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars. And that's where you have a real issue. Right? Because when I knew that Infinity War and Endgame were both coming out before I had seen either, I wasn't even thinking about Endgame when I went into Infinity War. I was just thinking about Infinity, like, holy shit, here we go. This is the beginning of the culmination.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm looking straight past Kang Dynasties and I'm excited. And I could be proven completely wrong. I think there's a good chance that I will be. I sure as hell hope that I will be. Kang Dynasty could be incredible. The stakes could be through the roof. But I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. And I think presuming that... I'm assuming that that's the last time we're going to see Victor. I could be wrong. 100% could be wrong.
Yeah. They got a lot of work to do to make Kang Dynasty work.
Well, because you've just killed him 3 freaking times. Yeah. First of all, you started out by killing He Who Remains. Done. He's gone.
Right.
Now you've killed Victor Timely. Okay, whatever. We've never heard of Victor Timely prior to now, whatever. But the thing that gets me, and this seems like the biggest oversight to me in the history of oversights, maybe even more so than giving Gaia every power under the sun. They, in one film, like, if you are a non-comic book fan, even if you are a comic book fan, if you have heard of Kang, I'm willing to put big money on the fact that the Kang that you only know of one Kang, and that is Kang the Conqueror. That is the Kang. He's Kang the freaking Conqueror.
If you know who Kang the Conqueror is, you probably understand who Kang is.
Okay, not like super familiar with him, but aware of, have heard of, right. I mean.
Okay.
Right? Kang the Conqueror. He was introduced and killed in one film by Ant-Man. And a bunch of insects. How are we supposed to feel like this Kang is some sort of a threat?
Yeah. Well, and like, if this only kind of leads to like the messiness of where Marvel's at right now, in that, like, the question of like, where is it even going is still floating out there, because like, okay, they're heading towards Kang, but what about all this other nonsense happening, right? Because when we were doing all the other, like the first 4 phases, or this is phase 4, I don't know, whatever. The first several phases, so the Infinity Saga. When we were doing the Infinity Saga, any post-credits scenes that were building to a larger story were all around Infinity Stones and Thanos. right?
Yep.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
No. Okay. Post Infinity Saga, we have a Doctor Strange verging of
Insurgents.
calamity. What?
The Insurgents.
Insurgency, whatever. Yeah, the multi two universes are colliding and things are going to go kaboom. That seems pretty big. That's potentially like Thanos level problems that they could spin a Thanos level story from. That's essentially what Secret Wars, the more, not the old Secret Wars from, I think it was the 80s, but the more recent Secret Wars was based on, right? These universes colliding. So, that's a great Thanos level storyline to build to. You've got the Eternals. They had the whatchamacallums, the
Celestials.
The Celestials, right? The big, massive things that are like Earth is the size of the tip of their pinky, right? Like that's a pretty big threat that the Earth mightiest heroes will need to get together for. You've got the rings from Shang-Chi calling to something. Now, some have theorized that was Kang in the microverse, but Ant-Man didn't reveal that. So that I think that theory is officially out of the water. Then you have Kang and everything that's been revealed recently with Kang, right? And I'm probably missing one or two on top of that.
Yeah.
Like, where are we going?
I don't know.
What is going on?
I don't know. Because that's
There's
the thing,
conformity.
Right? Is I was like, because my big thing was, wow, my big thing has been, well, we don't need to know yet, right? Like it's coming and we'll figure it out when we're supposed to figure it out and blah, blah, blah. And we didn't know this early on back then. However, it is worth noting that it seems like this time around, like this saga, because hang on, let me pull this up.
We didn't know,
future,
but like phase one still introduced, like there was like, we didn't know, but there still seemed like, I would say there's still conformity in phase one towards that one singular plan, even though we didn't know. And it was not this confusing. Assuming
that they are going to, that this saga ends with Secret Wars, right? And that we were talking the other week that maybe this will also be like the reboot, sort of refresh of the MCU. What we have coming up as far as films, I don't know what they're doing with TV shows, right? Daredevil's going to be in there somewhere. Echo's going to be in there somewhere. Presumably they're cutting back on some of the shows a little bit, if what Bob Iger said can be taken as gospel. We have the Marvels coming out this year, last film of this year. Next year we have Deadpool 3, Captain America: Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. In 2025 we have Blade and Fantastic Four. In 2026, we have Avengers Kang Dynasty, and then 1 year later, we have Secret Wars.
Yeah, so if we're going somewhere, it's a lot slower.
It's a lot slower, and it seems like this saga is going to be shorter.
Yeah, I just brought up the phase one films: Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger, The Avengers.
Yeah, we didn't see or hear tell of... I mean, we saw, but we didn't know we were seeing Infinity Stones at that point.
We saw the Infinity Gauntlet in Thor.
No, we didn't.
We saw, it was just like a pass and
that wasn't the first Thor. That wasn't the first Thor.
Was it the second Thor?
That was Thor Ragnarok.
No, it was in the first Thor. It was Thor Ragnarok. Hela pushes it over and calls it a knockoff.
Oh,
but it's a blink and you miss it scene.
It was Thor 2 because it was where the ether was being stored. Yes,
no, it was Thor 1. It was Thor 1 because Loki walks by it on his way to steal the freezing ray thing.
I believe you, but I don't. So I'm looking it up.
I'm almost positive it's Thor 1. Anyway, regardless, whether it's in Thor or not,
okay,
Captain America, the first Thor deals with the Tesseract. Does it? No, it doesn't. The second Captain America deals with the Tesseract, and then the Avengers deals with the invasion force.
Yeah,
and we get
the
a post-credit
Tesseract
scene. Pardon?
And the Tesseract.
Yeah, and we get a post-credit scene with Thanos.
Yeah.
So even though Phase 1 was 1, 2, 3, it was 6 films, they were all leading towards the Avengers, which was pointing, which in culmination were all pointing towards Thanos. And then from then on, everything was pointing towards Thanos.
Right.
Nothing else pointed towards another threat, another major threat. They might have pointed towards minor threats that the individual hero needed to conquer, but even then, I don't think they really did. Like the Iron Man 2 didn't point towards anything in Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 2
nothing in Thor 2 pointed towards anything in Ragnarok.
No, that's not true. No, because in Thor 2, like the whole beginning of it, 100% that's incorrect, right? Because in Thor 2, it is Loki fakes his death again, and he puts Odin into this like vegetative state, and that's the whole. We spend the whole beginning of Ragnarok dealing with that. Is Thor coming back to Asgard?
That's the Odin sleep. He goes into that.
The Odin sleep, yeah. But do you know, like that's the whole. That is the whole beginning of Ragnarok.
You say whole beginning, but it's like it's not that long.
It's like 20 minutes.
Oh, if like yeah, I think they wrap that up pretty quickly to get on with the movie.
Oh, I'm just saying.
But anyway. Yeah.
You said it points to nothing. I said that's bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. You're right. At the end of Thor 2, Loki appears on the throne after Thor leaves.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I'll grant you that one. Yeah. But that being said, not really like, oh shit, this is bigger than Thanos. This is a bigger problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We're still looking forward to Infinity Saga. We're not wondering, is there another big threat that the Avengers are going to have to get together? And you know what? Like it's not building towards anything else except for the next Thor film.
Right.
There's no doubt in our mind that's the next Thor film.
Right.
So, yeah. The point being, and we both agree, the MCU is a freaking mess.
So is that like, drive home for me here. What is your hot take?
Okay. Well, first I want to, so you're saying your thing is like, Kang's dead again. This version of Kang is dead. Whether this Kang is dead or not, I don't think the man at the end of time is dead. This whole season.
But he's sitting in that chair.
Okay. Hang on. This whole season has been all about breakdowns I've been watching have been hinting at talking about this and theorizing this, but like as I'm watching this show, I'm coming to this conclusion on my own. Is this whole show season is all about Ouroboroses. Which is the snake who eats his own tail. It's all this like cycle of beginning and ending and beginning and like where's the beginning and where's the ending. Like OB getting his name is Ouroboros, but he gets his name from Loki. His nickname from Loki, but where does the nickname come from? Like, you know what I mean? Like we keep seeing these little cycles of, hey, how'd you learn to build this? Oh, I got it from this book. Where'd you get the book from? Oh, I gave it to myself. You know, like these little circles, these little cycles. I think the whole season is going to cycle back to like the beginning of the TVA somehow.
Right. Interesting.
And a rebirth of the man at the end of time. That being said, my hot take is this should have been the last episode of this season, and it should have been the rebirth of the MCU as we know it.
Why?
So what just happened? The loom exploded, and as far as we know, everything that we know about the MCU has disappeared.
Yeah.
At this point in time. It's all done. It's gone. Anything you know about the MCU just died.
Well, no, because some of the timelines still exist. They're taking their time to...
Time and everything still exists, correct. But, like, essentially, like, it's a mess now.
Right.
Right? This is an opportunity for... Like, they can't do it because we're on episode 4 and there's 2 more episodes and they're going to resolve the problem somehow and we'll all be happy and continue on our messy way in the current MCU. But
like, bitter much?
Picture this, right? This is the end of the season and this is how they end it. Right? Yeah. It's like cliffhanger, huge, crazy. The next film to come out is, oh man, like, I don't know how you do this to kind of like, you could call it Avengers, I guess. Yeah, call it Avengers. Call it Avengers New Beginning, right? And all your promotional material is fairly secretive, kind of, and it all kind of looks like Battle of New York. Like, oh, we're right. Rehashing Battle of New York. Okay, well, whatever. And then, but the premise of the film like starts out at the beginning, Battle of New York, but the beginning of the film starts near the end of the Battle of New York. And you know the scene in that event, the first Avengers film, where they do like the circle camera around all the Avengers kind of like re-gearing up halfway through the fight?
Yeah.
You do that shot, but instead you've got like Iron Man, you've got Wolverine, you've got a completely different team, including mutants and Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
you've solved your mutant problem. You solved your Fantastic Four problem.
Mutant problem.
You like all of a sudden, like you get to rewrite MCU history.
Yeah,
I think it's brilliant. We can't do it because nobody's as smart as me over at the MCU right now.
Nobody's as smart as you. That's the official word.
That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done.
So was this episode a win or a fail for you?
This episode was a win. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm really enjoying this season.
Should have been the end. It's done. It's over. God, what a win.
I mean, I'm disappointed that, like, yeah, I walked away from this episode going, God, they could have. This could have been the coolest reboot opportunity. Like, instead of going from like Amazing Spider-Man, or no, from just what do they call Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and then like scrapping everything and going Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're not connected. You could like legitimately reboot your entire franchise, but everything is still technically canon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that would have been so cool. So I'm a little like disappointed that they didn't have more balls to to do something really crazy. But I did enjoy the episode, and I am looking forward to seeing how this unfolds because, yeah, this kind of the craziness of this season has been really fun.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It's a win. Again, it ends on a great cliffhanger. It ends on a, oh shit. Like, where do we go? What do we do? What's the plan? Right? I don't think it's the strongest episode of the series, but I think it's a good episode, and it excites me to see where we're going next, right? And I have no idea. Like, I just have the whole series has kept me guessing, but not in a I don't understand way, in a oh my goodness kind of way. So
yeah,
and that's great. That's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or X, or whatever, all listed below. Check out our Patreon. Support us on Patreon, man. $1 a month. $1 a month shows us how much you love listening to this, I'm sorry, free content. But also, yeah, hours and hours a week we spend giving you free content. $1 a month supports the show, gets you even more rewards in return. And if you're feeling sexy, go buy some of our merch.
Yeah. We've got sweaters. It's getting cold.
Carl was like, oh no, he teed it up by saying feeling sexy. I don't know what to do. It's out of my wheelhouse.
He hasn't put the lingerie on the store yet.
Do you consider yourself a sexy guy? I've derailed this.
Yes, sure. Why not?
Yeah? You're like, oh, I do my little turn on the catwalk. That's you?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. I agree.
Do a little dance in front of the bed every night.
Yeah, you good looking. Even when Emily's not around?
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
That's the dance. The dance is for you and for no one else.
There's a mirror in the bedroom, so.
Yes. Are you, sorry, final question, but an important one. What are you wearing when you do this dance? Is this a naked dance?
Nothing at all.